of habitus and culture as embodied practice in his book Anthropological Linguistics, an Introduction, Foley 1997, it may be interesting to ponder such questions. What is it that identifies me as a Nande and not someone else? What are the cultural traits that are perpetuating my language behavior? As I see it, it would be difficult for individual researchers to do some kind of introspection of their behavior to obtain responses to this question. What might be feasible is rather to make an inventory of problems people have faced and then see what the actual reactions have been. On the basis of actual results, the researcher could build up a questionnaire to probe the alternatives that people are likely to adopt. From such alternatives and the actual results observed earlier, the researcher could then propose hypotheses of what is likely to explain the behavior of a given ethnic community. We will have to weigh a number of variables that will not only incorporate in the questionnaire, but also in the interpretation of the data. For example, the age group, gender, economic status, the respondents' attitudes towards the principles of their own religions. It is from such results that researchers could make more reliable proposals on what is likely to impel the right attitude in people for their self-development. Another concern about African languages is the choice of the languages to introduce in the school system. Most African countries tend to accept the idea that the local governments should promote the languages that are widely spoken. Thus, South Africa has introduced 11 African languages as official languages. Several East African countries have Kiswahili. Yet, we know that the choice is not the end of the problem. We know that languages are spoken rather as dialects, and each language may have several dialects. The question is usually, which dialect of the language to promote? Various African countries readily accept the idea of a standardized dialect as the language to be introduced in the educational system. I just wish to know that there is a danger behind such an assumption. First, it's a lure to believe that everybody will feel the adoption of a standardized dialect as reflecting really one's emotional attachment to the language. When speakers use that standardized dialect, they tend to use it in situations where an official language such as English or French could be used. In more intimate contexts, one will tend to use one's native African language. I believe the right policy would be for the governments to encourage the communities to promote their languages and cultures and see to it that some of the vehicular languages be promoted in a way that they can serve as intermediaries between knowledge conveyed in official languages and the identity languages. Researchers should also be encouraged to detect anything that might be of interest in any given culture and make it known in the official languages or the vehicular languages so that people start learning about one another's cultures. Topics such as expressions of anger, the expression of gratitude, the expression of disagreement with an authority could be tackled in people's interactions within the same communities or in multicultural communities. The goal for such studies would be to lead people to be tolerant towards people from different cultures, or to use the words of Scullin, 2001, to not ask people to change, but to be aware of other people's cultures. Other questions that might be investigated along these lines are, what makes people label someone stubborn? How do communities view people not sharing their religious beliefs? What are the taboo topics they are not supposed to treat in their interactions with such people? And if they do, how should they go about it? What is likely to influence people of a given community to become sympathetic to you, grant you an appointment to talk to them? These are daily problems that people encounter in their lives and which can facilitate smooth interpersonal relations among people living in a multicultural community. Let me conclude by reiterating the idea that in the humanities, it is crucial that we rethink our Western-based knowledge and adapt it to our African realities. I have made a number of proposals of the kinds of work, cultural material, and written documents that could be published at Serotola and archived by Alora, while maintaining our traditional collaboration with our Western colleagues on topics that are central to linguistics, and more particularly to sociolinguistics. Thank you, and as you can see, I'm giving this talk in the office of Serotola, and on the handout, I put the website of Serotola and Alora so that you might have access to it. Thank you.